this morning is 9:30 a.m. 2 minutes, right? So I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Gloria Ocegueda. I know you by face, but not by name. So, Clara? María. Okay.
You can do it in Spanish if you want.
Oh, sería mucho mejor para mí, pero no sé si me van a dejar. Yes, they're in the streamline.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah. However, they have to deal with my Spanglish because when I get stuck, I'm going to say in Spanish so you can get it.
Get it.
Yes. So, good morning, and I really appreciate that you coming. When a person commit to teach a class, most likely they prepare themselves to share something of value. And I believe everybody else has something to value to share. So I really appreciate that you made the time to be here and be with me this morning. Either way, I'm going to be talking by myself because either way, going to be streamlined and the class is not canceled. The world it keeps continuing and moving, and we're going to take advantage of this. So we're going to be in number 10. Yes. It's negotiating deals. Find common grounds to win-win agreements. So in this chapter, we're going to learn how to negotiate to win, learn tactics and counter tactics, make it a win-win agreement, and bulletproof your transactions. Page 1. So you know what we expect, and I think at the end of the chapter you have your homework sheet. I don't know if you've been working on that through the sessions, but it's important. That way that you really can set the habits. It's not just to come, learn, and forget. It's set habits that are going to take you to success, take you to have the amount of transactions that you're looking for. Everybody's goals are different, and it's nothing wrong to have different goals. It's perfectly okay. Everybody has different needs, different goals, dreams. So the amazing of this career, or every career that you take, is that you have control. You can choose you're going to sell 40, you can choose you're going to sell 10, you can choose you're going to sell 20, you can choose you're going to sell 100 or more. It's your choice. So understand that you have control. Wherever you want to go, is give us power. So we're going to take less than 3 hours. We're going to try to do it in 2 by 11:30. I plan it to be done by that time. So I wish that we have more top producers here that they can share with us the negotiating skills, because everybody is different and we can learn from everybody. The last time that we have Ignite 2 months ago, Antoinette Aguilar gave this chapter. And Aaron was here, and I learned a lot from him and from her too. So I'm going to share with you what I learned on that class and what I used to do in my own contracts. So we're going to go over the expectations on page number 5. Okay. Number 1, we're going to learn negotiating tips. Understand the most common points of negotiation. Go through the 3Ps approach to the negotiating process. Identify negotiation tactics and counter tactics. To maximize your Ignite faculty's community to show great role model videos in class, and we're going to see some videos, and we're going to do some activities here. So page number 6. we're gonna review the actions. Who are you are doing the 10-4 every day?
Well, actually, this past week, we had a challenge.
Okay. So how that go? How that went?
Well, for the whole group, you got the emails as they were going on. Did you get the emails? They set it up in our group,
Mm-hmm.
and actually the challenge was to have, to do the 10,
Mm-hmm.
and the challenge to see, because since this is a March Madness
Mm-hmm.
challenge,
Yes.
see how many people, how many contacts, and how many pre-listing appointments and things like that. We were learning the contract closing, and then post-closing.
Okay.
So anyway, there was a lot of challenge, and everybody says, yeah, I'm going to do 10 calls. The other one said 20, and okay, and how many listings? And so there was a couple that challenged Drew.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
He says, oh, and then if we didn't do it, we would pay $1,000
Oh.
for the copies,
Okay.
for the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And so everybody agreed that they would do 10.
Mm-hmm.
So this couple, of course, is 10 each, is 20.
Mm-hmm.
So Drew said, okay, I'll tell you what, by the end of this week,
Mm-hmm.
I would have done, I think it was said more than 20 contacts. He would have a listing, an escrow, and I forget what else.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he really upped his. So after that, everybody, started, he set up a group according to our emails, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And he would be sending messages. Everybody would be sending messages. I did this, I did this many, I have an appointment, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was quite a contest
Yeah.
throughout the whole week. So by yesterday, it was Sunday, no, Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
actually I had not done anything during the week. So I was trying to set myself for something else.
Mm-hmm.
And so, on Saturday, I didn't leave the house.
Mm-hmm.
The same way that I got up with my PJs, that's how I went to
Mhm.
bed at night. So all day I started to call and sending emails, and I have a list of people that have, liens and late mortgage.
Mhm.
So I kept either calling if I had the phone number, or I would send information.
Information. Yeah.
Also, I send my pre-listing, my bio.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, by the end of the night, I said, okay, I'm being slow, but I'm surely getting there. So by the end of the night, then I did have my 10,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an offer that I was waiting for my buyer
Sign.
to sign. The only thing is that now he's back in town, and he's getting cold feet
Mm-hmm.
because of the coronavirus and how the
Mhm.
market is going to go. I said, well, and it's an REO property.
Okay.
And we had already contacted the agent and all that, so
Mhm.
I'm trying to see if,
Yeah.
we
It's,
change
it,
his mind by the end
yeah.
of the day.
And it's a challenge that most of us gonna face with some of our buyers. Not all the buyers are the same. And I've been asked that question, Gloria, should we wait? Because what if the property is going down?
Exactly, that's exactly what it said.
And I say, okay, let me tell you, I don't know if you remember or you were here in California, 2007, 2008. People wanted to buy because of the price of the properties.
This is the moment to buy.
But they cannot buy because the banks closed the programs.
Oh, yeah.
So they were not available to many programs for them to be able to qualify to buy a property. So yes, I do have, during that time, tons of buyers who wants to buy and has a little bit on the bank, but not able to qualify because the programs that we were most of the, at that time was conventional 5%, 10%, and no all the people have savings. So most of the buyers, especially is a first-time home buyer and is using a down payment assistance, I told them, you should not be waiting because the down payment assistance can go and you have to bring your own down payment. So,
Well,
yes.
an investor.
Yes. If it's an investor, it's different story. But at the same time, I have investor working right now. I say, okay, it's always a good time to buy if the investment makes sense. Do you have the cash flow that you're looking for on this property? Yes, I do. I have more than, she's getting like 12% on her investment, a return on his investment, and normally it's 8 to 10. So he's getting 12%. So it's a good investment. So I say, don't let it go. You know, properties go up, go down, and always get value back and overpass the value that it has the previous crash. So it's...
It'll take a while to turn the property around, so there should be plenty of time there. And the lender will give you the money, I know.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So, and how about you, Maria? How was your week?
Well, I had a seller that was planning to sell his house and buy another one, but then she texted my lender. She said that because of the coronavirus, they're thinking to wait.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the first person. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are scared about this. They don't know what's happening with the economy. Even though the interest rate, I was talking to the lender in the morning,
Mhm.
and even though the Fed lowered,
Mm-hmm.
the interest, but the actual interest is going higher because the banks that buy a wholesale,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to buy because the low interest is not making sense for them
Mm-hmm.
to do those loans. So
Mhm.
they're not buying, so the interest is going a little bit up. It's actually over 4%.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way I understand it, as I read it, just because the Federal Reserve lowers the interest rate to the banks so they can borrow more, it doesn't affect necessarily the interest rate for mortgage because it all depends on the mortgage-backed security
Mhm.
purchases or sales. If the government, if the mortgage-backed securities are not
Mm-hmm.
are not being purchased, then the prices are going to go up, and the interest rate is going to go up.
Yeah. So yes, it's difficult time. The thing is that we have to educate our clients, educate our buyers, especially the buyers. Sellers, that's a really good time because if they're thinking on selling, this is the time that they're gonna get the most. Because it's a great if. The longest that this madness keeps going, the more harm that will do to the economy. The sooner that they fix itself, it's like just a spring. You go down, you go back. And we keep moving. Because besides that, this economy is strong. Besides that, the unemployment rate is low, and it's cash flow on the investment properties. The mortgage payment is less than the rents right now. So it's a lot of good things that's happening for the buyers. So I asked them, let's say that you buy now, are you going to be paying less than what you're paying for rent? Let's think about down the road. The interest go up, even the property is less, you're going to be ending up paying more in your mortgage payment because of the interest rate, and that maybe you're not going to be able to qualify. Now you can afford, maybe in a year because of the interest rate, you're not going to be able to qualify. So I will say that you have the open door right now, the door open right now. Why you close it to yourself? Let's move forward. Let's lock your mortgage payment for 30 years so the landlord cannot come to you anymore and say, you have increased again. Yes, so let's fix your payment for 30 years. Put it. Vamos a ponerlo fijo, and what better security you can give to your family than that? So it's about conversations, about making them see that all the time it's a good time to buy if the numbers make sense. So if he's saving money on the rent, it makes sense for them to buy. So let's keep going ahead of the game. So what is the conversation that we're going to have today with the buyers, with our sellers? That this is a good time to sell and to buy. People need homes. California has a housing crisis. We have more people than homes. So when buyers ask me, they go, unless people move out of California, I don't think we're going to see the prices being affected dramatically soon. Because still families need a place to live. And still families up there that they prefer. The landlord knocked the door this past month and say, now you rent increase 200 more. So those families are making the decisions that it's a good time for them to buy and lack the payment. Make it happen. So we're going to go to page 10. So that's something that we need to talk about, that your ability to negotiate it will directly influence your rate of contracts to close. So how we negotiate our contracts, how we talk to people to the other side, if we're representing the seller. How we negotiate those contracts for our seller. How we negotiate it to close the deal. How we negotiate it. As a listing agent?
We'll present the offer,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll try to make the offer as clean as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I would have already, we would have actually first negotiated with the buyer,
Mm-hmm.
showing them the comparables,
Mm-hmm.
what the condition of
Mhm.
the area and the market in the area is,
Mhm.
how long the houses are on the market,
Mhm.
what the advantages of having a good offer,
Mm-hmm.
and what's the percentage ratio of listing price to sell price,
Yeah.
and make it as clear as possible. Try not to have as much contingency as necessary. And then when you present it to the seller, the buyer would have been already pre-approved. I would have discussed it already with the lender to the point where I wanted to make sure that my buyer was going to get the loan.
Mm-hmm.
And when I presented him, actually, there are very few times when you will present the offer directly to the seller. And you ask, I don't know how often that happens, but
Mhm.
most of the time, you send
The offer to the buyer, to the listing agent.
and
Okay.
of course, discussing the offer over the phone with the listing agent. Saying my buyer is ready to go,
Mhm.
it's already pre-approved, and then I give you the name of the lender so that you know that my buyer is good, and my buyer is ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Presenting clean offer. So what we mean by clean offer?
Not much contingency.
Okay. So no much contingency. The contingencies are made to protect the buyers. So are there for a reason on the contract. So your buyer is not a cash buyer. Our fiduciary duty is to make sure that we don't put at risk our buyer's deposit. So yes, we can make a clean offer, staying going 17 days inspections. We can put 10 days for inspections. We can talk to the lender. How fast we can order the appraisal so we can remove the appraisal contingency in a week or 10 days as well. So communicating with our lender, have the relationship as a team. Because remember, everybody, when it goes to an escrow, listing agent, lender, selling agent, escrow, buyer and seller, we have a common goal, and it's to close. So working as a team is really important, and have that relationship with our lender. They say, okay, at what point that you order the appraisal? So when we talk to the leasing agent, we can say, you know, we can order the appraisal in 7 days. That way we can move that out of the way and just wait for the lender to approve the loan. I have a FHA offers being accepted when the lender is willing to work for my buyers and work as a team with us, and we put it that we can close in 21 days. It's possible. Even it's finance. As long as we don't asking for a down payment assistance, we can close in 21 days. When it's a down payment assistance in the middle, yes, it takes more than 21 days. So it's many ways, but the contingency is the only thing that we can do to really say I send you a clean offer is to remove contingencies. However, what if we have this family that needs closing costs?
Well, you would have, if that is the case, you would negotiate with the seller. But also, you have to watch what the offer is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to explain to the buyer
Mm-hmm.
that he or she should not make a lowball
Mm-hmm.
offer
Mhm.
when they'll need also closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
They could attach the closing costs, and actually, I would call the lender
Mhm.
in escrow and find out what the closing costs are,
Mm-hmm.
knowing what the lender is going to charge,
Mm-hmm.
so that I can get a net sheet as close as possible with the closing costs.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take a look at what the market value of the property we're making an offer on, and based on that, I would actually attach or add
Mhm.
closing costs
Mhm.
so that I can ask it back.
Yes. So normally when the buyer, the easy way to work with them and not break anybody's heart, because in the past I show properties to the buyers and they get in love to the house, and then they have a multiple offers, many offers with no closing costs, and we cannot increase the value on the property because it's the highest price on the market, so we cannot put a risk that the property isn't gonna appraise.
Yeah, well, that's what,
So,
I mean, you
that's
have to pay
something.
attention to that too. You cannot add too much,
Mhm.
because you have to make sure that it does appraise with what you offer.
So something to make a win-win deal for these buyers is negotiate upfront. Before you show the properties to your buyers, talk to the agents and see if they have multiple offers, if they see they are open to, if the seller is open to help with closing costs, negotiate ahead. So at the time that you show the property, you know that you have a good chances for your buyer to get the property and get the closing costs. And sometimes I show 3 properties, it's only one agent who's mentioned that the seller is willing to help with closing costs. So when I show the properties, I tell them, in this property, I already talked to the agent and they say that the seller is open to work with you regarding closing costs. And the other 2, the agent says that they already have offers, so yes, to send you best offer. So you're gonna be competing, and maybe one of those offers they don't ask you for closing costs, but the chances that you get your offer accepted on this property is higher than the other ones. Negotiate upfront. Let your buyers know. Don't wait until the last minute to make the call, especially when it's a buyer that needs closing costs. Don't waste your time showing properties that they don't gonna get because it's because of the special need of this particular buyer. So negotiating upfront is better than they just showing properties, because that's what you say, I am showing properties. No, we go and sell properties. We don't show, we sell homes. So yes, when I go out with my buyers, I say my client is gonna choose which property they're gonna buy today. I try to make the affirmations around myself, around my business. I don't show, I'm not a showing person. I sold properties, so every time I go out with my buyers, I go and we're going to choose the property that they're gonna buy today. And we negotiate up front. 10 days, right now the shortest on the inventory, the better that we can put, the soonest that you can do our inspections and our lender work with us regarding the appraisal, and if we can get it done in 21 days, our offer is gonna look better than the other offers. And gonna look better than the cash offers, because sometimes cash offers are lower ball. So even in a cash offer, sometimes it takes 3 weeks to close. So why not our offer when we are offering a full price, or maybe higher than the full price? So let's work on that, and remember, always thinking on our buyers, trying to protect them, trying to keep the protections. And if we put that they want to do 10 days inspection, as soon as we open escrow, let's schedule the inspection. Let's see what the property condition is. So when you show a property to your buyers and do the inspection, how do you explain that you recommend them to do an inspection for what?
For their own benefit. They need to know what is the condition of the house, things that maybe they don't see with their eyes, that the home inspector will find out. So when there's something wrong, we have a chance to negotiate with the seller to maybe fix that or lower the price, but it's for their own benefit, and we only recommend the buyer to do that.
Yeah. So the home inspection is not for the seller to fix the things. It's not for the seller to renegotiate, because on the contract says the property is sold as it is, at the present condition of the contract. That's what on the purchase contract says, unless otherwise agree. When it says unless other guys agree, it's because you on the contract are putting seller to change the damaged door, and they sign the contract, so it's part of the contract. But if you don't put anything on the contract that you want the seller to fix, it means that you're taking the property as it is. So the inspection is not for the seller to fix anything. It's not for the seller or for the buyer to renegotiate the price. It's for the buyer to know the condition of the property and know what he's buying, and say that he wants to move forward or he wants to look for another property. Of course, you have the right to do a request for repairs. We can ask for request for repairs. But if you notice on your contract, it says that the seller don't even have an obligation to respond to the request. So which it means it's not something that is part of the contract. The request for repairs is part of our negotiation skills that we're always going to do for our buyers. We're always going to try the best for them. And if we can get the seller to agree to fix something, good for our buyers. But they need to understand the inspection is not for the seller to fix the thing that is wrong with the property. It's for them to know the condition of the property and make a decision with knowledge, knowing what are the things that they have to fix with. Yeah. So don't use that, because a lot of the buyers going to back up and say, you know, if the seller doesn't fix this, I don't buy it. No, you have the right to choose if you want to buy it, because the inspection is for them to make the decision if they want to buy it and know the condition or not. That's it. That's why they have the contingency of the inspections. And it's funny, because I always explain that to my buyers, and every time that we do the inspection, they ask me, so the seller gonna fix this, all this? Do you remember I told you that the inspection is not for the seller to fix, it's for you to know the condition of the property? And at this point, what I can see that is really expensive is the AC unit. Let's say that the inspector called up the AC unit. So I say the AC unit is something important, it's something expensive. So let's do the request for repair on that area. So let's see what the seller says, and if your buyer doesn't have the money to fix that, I don't want my buyer to move in a property, especially in this valley when the winter is hard and the summer is really hot. So I don't want any of my clients going through that life. So we're gonna see a video, 10 minutes video.
When the appraisal comes in and there are things that the appraiser is requiring to approve the loan, that's something that the buyer can report themselves to do.
Yeah, it's normally something that the seller most likely going to do because it's a condition on the value of his home. The appraisal is saying, yes, this property has this value, but it needs to be this item needs to be fixed.
To retain their value.
To retain the value or to comply with the regulations of the sale. Because yes, the state of California requires the seller to install carbon monoxide and smoke detectors and the water heater straps in this area. In another areas like San Fernando, the gas shut-off valve has to be installed on the gas meter. The sliding doors has to be double glass. It depends on the area. It's different requirements from the city. San Fernando Valley is already implementing from a long time ago the retrofitting on the water saving water items like the faucets, toilets, shower heads. They had to comply with the retrofitting according to the state and to the city, but we don't have that yet here. And maybe in the future we're going to have it soon because it's already requiring the whole state of California.
The gas valve they use for earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
When I bought my house in 2006,
Mm-hmm.
like the year, I think it was either within the year or so, I was told by the gas company, or I was told that I needed to have that it's like a ball inside
The line.
valve
Mm-hmm.
and for earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
And my house required it, so I had to have it installed. So I don't know, right now, well, we have to talk to a home inspector. But I had an inspection done like 3 years ago or so, because I wanted to know what condition my house was since it was over 10 years old. And the only thing that, as far as that was concerned, is that I needed to make sure that I maintain it. I'm supposed to spray with a certain paint to protect it from getting rusted.
Mm-hmm.
But the inspector noticed that I did have taken care of that part as far as the earthquake.
Yeah. And in our community, it's not a requirement here on the Antelope Valley so far. San Fernando Valley is required. I don't know if because it was a newer model plan that the codes changed for the newer homes. It could be. It could be. Yeah. Yeah. So let's watch the video.
Hi, I'm Josh Anderson from Nashville, Tennessee. I've been with Keller Williams since 2006. In 2014, we did about 200 transactions for about $60 million a month. I grew up on a farm, so I've always seen my dad negotiating land and cows and horses. Being the youngest of four, I'm trading and negotiating all growing up. So I've kind of done it all the time. Some people are certainly gravitating toward it and are naturally better at it than others. But I think that negotiation can definitely be learned. I think there's a lot of skills that go into being a great negotiator. I think it's learning your client. Instead of kind of assuming that you know what's important to them, really asking a lot of questions and letting them tell you what they need or want, and then speaking to the other agent and finding out what's most important to their client. And there's some agents that just don't give any. When I have an agent that I'm dealing with that's very tight-lipped, I just keep asking questions, and they give me information that they might not have otherwise given, whether it's a divorce or a death, or it's just they got relocated to some other city. And I think if you're really listening and being intentional and purposeful about listening, you'll find out exactly what's important to them or what they have to have. In certain situations, you have to be creative. for that next little tip to help our clients out and win the deals. One of the techniques that we've used a lot that's worked well for us is the escalation clause. For example, if the property is listed at $250,000, we might go in at $250,000 with strong terms, and in special stipulations we might put in there that we're willing to beat the next best documented offer by $1,000 up to $263,000. And the best offer might be $261,000, so we end up getting it for $262,000. From a client standpoint, be willing to have a real conversation with clients. It's not us just being realtors for them, it's us consulting and advising and really telling them, if you really want this property, here's what you have to do to get it. Everybody's got a different way of how they would negotiate. And networking with other Keller Williams agents around the country, the more you hear it, the more ideas you get. And then you end up gearing it towards you and what you think is going to work best for you and your clients. A lot of it comes down to experience, and I think the more deals you do, the more comfortable you get with it. If you step back from every transaction and learn something, you're going to get really good over time.
Yep. So it's something that practice make you master.
Have you done that? Have you told the listing agent that you offer $1,000 more than the highest one? Or is that when they send out highest and best requests?
Okay. I know that it's to give equal opportunity to everybody, to all the buyers. As a listing agent, we cannot disclose what type of offers that we have or what is the amount of the offers. Even so, some of the agents share that information. I never asked a direct question. I always told them what my offer gonna look like, and if they think that we have a chance.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know.
So
What he's doing is, I mean, he's not asking
Mhm.
what the highest and best,
Mhm.
but what he's saying, I think what I understood was
that he is offering.
the listing agent that whichever is the highest, in the multiple offer, the highest bidding,
Mhm.
they will be able to match it
$1,000 more.
up to. But how are you going to find out what the highest bid was?
And
To your max.
if you like, let's say that your client have a budget. They say, okay, I really willing to pay $274 for this property. So negotiating, putting that in a highest and best, but is willing to match and offer 1,000 more to the highest and best offer until $274. If you know how much is your buyer willing to pay for, and make sure that if you buy it in this financing, that the property gonna appraise. It's a key.
Yeah, I would imagine that the listing agent would be smart enough to not to accept his offer if he knows that, if the listing agent knows that by offering that, the property is not going to appraise.
Some of the agents don't know that the property isn't going to appraise, and they send you a counter offer saying that buyer to pay the difference out of pocket from the appraised value.
Right.
And if your buyer is willing to do so,
Right.
go for it. And I explain to my clients, which is mean when the property appraised less and you put more money, it means that you are overpaying price. So there are buyers that are okay with that because they just want a place to move. Exactly. I remember one of my clients during the recession, properties were selling like hot pancakes, fast. It came on the market, and in the afternoon it was pending. It was crazy. For me, it was like how I can put it, it was fun. I have a lot of fun with it because I was sitting on the desk checking the MLS every second, checking the Freddie Mac homepage, Fannie Mae homepage, HUD homepage to make sure that nothing comes, because Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, sometimes they put the properties on their homepage before come to the market. So I was able to negotiate offer before it was on the MLS because it was already offering for sale on the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac pages. So for me, it was like a fun, like a challenge. It challenged me, that type of market. And I remember that it was this property, and finally we got the offer accepted. It was for $64,000. We offered 68 to win it, and we went open escrow, and the property came down to 60,000. And the bank says, no, I want 68. Yeah, it was an scenario. Normally, the banks go with the appraised value, but this was a small corporation, so they want the 68. So I told my client, you are overpaying price. So it's up to you. The property was in a horrible condition. It was a total fixer-upper. Yeah. So she was pregnant. She want a place to call home and settle. She said, Gloria, I know that we can find another one, but I don't want to look for nothing more. I just want to get it done, and I'm willing to pay the $8,000 out of my pocket. She made the right decision. The property for planning was nice. It was something that is not so used to see it in the market. It has a den, so it has a lot of extras that she saw the potential, and now her property worth $260,000. So they fix it up. It's nice. It's a really nice home right now. However, at the time, my advice was not to pay overpriced, but she was okay with it. As long as you explain it to your clients and you give your professional opinion and they make the decision. Don't say, oh, don't try to convince them saying that, okay, property is going to go up and whatever. Just pass the information. Don't discourage them. Just give them the information so they can have the information. Yesterday, I went to a listing appointment. The seller wants to sell. The home is full of stuff. They want to sell the stuff first and then having the property vacant for the showings. And I told him, I have a couple of clients that are qualified for this area. What if one of them buy the property as it is with all the stuff that is inside? How much do you want for the stuff that is inside, the furniture, all the stuff? We're looking at $3,500, something like that, okay? So you're looking at $145 for your property. Are you open to accept $148,500 as it is with all the stuff inside? Yeah, will be nice. Okay, so I'm gonna market to my buyers to see one of them are interested in buying as it is with all the stuff. And maybe we can put an escrow soon. Oh, that would be fantastic. But let me tell you, by doing so, you reduce the chances to get a higher offer because you're limiting yourself just to the buyers or the people are going to be passing the information. So you don't really going to have the opportunity to expose the property and maybe get a higher offer. Who knows? We don't mind. We don't want to deal with anything. If you can sell it quick, sell it.
Did you put it in writing? Did you put it in writing, telling them that, okay, we advise you to put it on the market because you might get higher offer?
Okay, right now, no, because I don't take the listing yet. I'm going to take it if my buyer wants to buy it. If not, we're going to wait. We're going to vacate the property and then take it a listing. So, yeah, right now it's negotiation. But most likely, I'm going to end up selling. Yes, give the information. As long as they have the information, and as you mentioned, put it in writing.
Yes, just to protect it.
Yes. So, Brandon. Brandon is one of the agents that is, you cannot say he's new because he has so much knowledge, so much ability to negotiate contracts. How many buyers you've been working on the past year?
Lots of buyers.
Like,
only 90% buyers.
and where I am.
Student resource. Oh,
This is like session 9.
10. How I ended up getting here? Yeah, I had to call. Okay, yeah, PowerPoint. As you notice, I'm not so tech savvy. So, page 12, we're going to discuss negotiation tips on page 12, right? So, that's a good thing. Talk to your client, ask the most questions that you can to your buyer so you know what are really their needs. And making sure that we provide all those needs. And create your mission statement. If you have your mission statement and you say, this is that I committed to do for my clients, and your clients understand that, at the end of the road, you can go back to them. Do you think that I fulfill the promise on my mission I give to you? So if you live up to that, you're going to have a whole life clients, a forever life clients that are going to do business with you over and over and over, refer you, because this is what we're looking for. A business that is get by referring people. Okay, remember, your goal is a signing contract. Number one is about us, be professional. Never lose your temper. Never trying to like overstep on the other side with the transaction. Just let's always step back and see and trying to ask enough questions so we can understand the motivation on the other side. Build that relationship with the listing agents, because on the road we're gonna go back to them. I cannot stress be more grateful for the opportunity to be working with such amazing REO agents during the recession. That relationship allowed me to always put my buyers into contract with them, because they like how we work, how we handle business, and especially that they know that we close. So they know what we're doing. They know that we are on the time frames, that we're always on top of the things, communicating with them, letting them know what's going on. What is the reason that you didn't order the appraisal yet? Okay, talk to the lender. What is not appraisal and it's been ordered? Pass the information to the listing agent. Let them know what's going on the back. Because if we hide things to ourselves, they don't want to trust us. And that's why sometimes they react, because they don't know what's going on. I am on a transaction right now that is been for 4 months. I am the listing agent.
Short sale?
Hmm?
Short sale?
No, it's a regular transaction. The buyer has a lot of ups and downs on the lending side.
And the seller hasn't decided to.
Yeah, because we've been in communication. We've been in communication. I know what's going on. I explain to my seller, and the seller understands things happen in life. But the thing is that they already removed the contingencies. We see that the buyer is doing his part, like inspections, all the stuff. So as far as the buyer side, we're going to have those type of buyers. Okay, remember. Sometimes we are the listing agent, and sometimes we are the buyer's agent. So when we are the buyer's agent, we want the other side to be patient with us, to work with us. So let's flip the coin the other side, and let's plant what we want to reap.
Yeah.
So it sounds like the seller is not in a hurry.
No,
Or he knows that he's a good buyer.
he knows.
Eventually will close.
Yeah, he knows, and that's our job. The buyer doesn't know anything. it's our job to make sure that the buyer is going to close. And it's our job to have that communication with not just the selling agent, but with the lender.
And the
Have-
lender is the one that
Mhm.
needs to,
I have a transaction right now, it has for 3 months,
Mhm.
but we're communicating like 4 times a week,
Mhm.
so everybody's cool.
Mhm. The communication is the key. When you don't know nothing and you don't answer the phone, and I remember the lesson that one lie leads you to another lie. So you say a white lie to protect your buyer or to protect whatever you call it. But later on, you're going to say another thing that I say, okay, she told me this, and now she's telling me this, and you're going to break the trust. Make sure that you tell the truth. And if you don't have nothing to say, just call back. You know, the reason I didn't call you back before is because I don't have any update. And let me follow up with the lender. Let me and send an email to the lender and to the leasing agent asking the lender, can you give us an update? Leasing agent is asking us to pass the information to the seller. Seller is desperate. They want to know what's going on. Let the listing agent know that you are doing your best to have everybody with the update and communications. That's the key. The relationship is so important with the buyer. The same is so important with the other agents. No matter what, if it's a buyer agent or it's a listing agent. Sooner or later on the road, you're going to find yourself to be working with them again. So you want to have a good memory of you. You want them. And yes, it's some listing agents that I prefer not to work with. And I talk to my clients when we open escrow, and I say, you know, this is a nice property. This is the way that this agent likes to work. So be prepared, okay? So with this agent, we need to, she's tough. So she's pushy, I describe how I feel it, and say, so we need to work on her own game. So, and prepare yourself, embrace yourself to take the ride. So, control what you want to, anyone involved in the transaction. If you create anxiety in your clients or other parties, you are reducing their leverage in negotiating. So how you can create anxiety in your client? Somebody has an answer for that? How you can create that anxiety in your clients? When you are not communicating with them. If you are not answering the phone, the buyer going to think, or the seller going to think that something is wrong, that you are hiding something. So that's the most common thing.
Yeah, but you don't answer right away, right? Because sometimes you're busy. Like, for example, you're giving a class right now, if your seller is send you a text, you don't respond right away.
No, and that's something that in my first consultation, buyer listing consultation, is something that I explain. I have always my phone like this, so they see that my phone is ringing, and I don't answer. They see that I receive text, and I don't answer. Unless it's my daughter that is in the school, I always answer those messages, or I always answer her calls, because I don't know if it's an emergency. So I explained it to them. If you notice, people is calling me, people is trying to contact me. So the same thing I'm gonna tell you, I told them. So when I with a client, most likely I don't gonna answer back, but for sure, as soon as I'm done with my appointment, I'm gonna call you back. So please be patient with me. If you call me or you text me, sometimes I can text, yeah, I'm on class, most likely I can text back and give you a time or answer your question. But yeah, I'm giving a class, or like right now, in a listing appointment or wire consultation, most likely I don't gonna be able even to text back. Because sometimes it's rude to, can you wait? Right? So the same way that you deserve my time, the other clients do. And when I explained the possible representation for more than one buyer or seller, I told them, this is that my company can represent multiple buyers or multiple sellers in the same transaction. At the same time that I work with more buyers and sellers. So, which means I'm not working exclusively for one buyer or one seller. So, have that conversation up front. And yes, if you notice, you're gonna know who requires more attention and who is more understanding. You're gonna have those clients that are demanding. They want it and they want it now. Try to adapt yourself to them. Not because they're controlling you, but because you're providing the service at their own expectation, what they're expecting from you. Unless it's impossible for you to answer, they're gonna wait. But they're gonna see what is that you try or you are doing your best, not trying, that you do your best to provide the service that they're looking for from you. And always say, I'm sorry, I was on a class. I remember one time I was on the phone with one client and somebody else called me and said, but it's a client that is like more friend and family friend than client. And they said, I'm sorry, I'm gonna let you go because I have an important call. This is important call. So, which means that I'm not important. Oh man, I busted up. So now I say, okay, so you have any other questions? Because I have another call on this other line. I remove the important from my vocabulary.
But then she probably, what do you mean so I'm not that important?
Yeah, so we learn from our mistakes. And the good thing that mistake I made it, or at least maybe I made it before, but I didn't realize it until he pointed out to me. So yes, it's important how we communicate with them, how we make them feel when we are on the phone or when we are in person. So the most information, the most that you communicate with your clients, the more control that you're going to have on the transaction. Don't wait for them to call you. And that's something that all of us should be working and always update what's going on. My client signed the loan docs on Saturday with the lender. And I called them yesterday and said, so now we move into the closing phase, which is meant the lender going to send the loan docs to the escrow so they can prepare the other documents. You're going to have more documents to sign from escrow. That is the same numbers that it shows on your loan docs, but it's something from escrow. So that documents has to be signed by you and your husband. After that, we're going to prepare for the funding. Funding means when the bank pays for the home, when the escrow receives the money. That's what we call it funding. And after that, we have the funds and the home is paid. Then the escrow releases the document to record the property under your name. When we receive the recording confirmation, and normally that happens 24 hours after the funding. So when we receive the confirmation that the property is under your name, it means that we close. It means that the home is yours. It means I can give you the keys. It means that you can start moving. So give them the time frames. Do you think I have to call her today, tomorrow?
And confirming, okay, it's recorded today, or it funded today.
Yes, but she's not expecting a call from me because I already told her what's going to happen for the next 3 following days. So yes, it's important to let her know that the property fund, let her know that, and be in communication with escrow. And did you get the documents that escrow sent you? Do you sign it? Follow up with them. But I'm pretty sure that she's not expecting a call from me to know what's going next, because she knows what's going next for the 3 following days. So
what is the time frame between when the lender or when the buyer has received the loan documents from the lender, from that time to
It depends. It depends on many things. It depends on the rushing. If you are rushing on the file and you have a special need, the same day, the same hour, after 2 hours that you receive the documents, you arrange. You work with escrow. You are, let's say, you are working with a short sale and you have a day to close according to the approval for the short sale. You have to close the day of approval, or the other agent needs to get an extension on the approval. So we are like against time. So every transaction is unique, but normally it's the same day. If they receive the loan docs on the morning, and the afternoon they're gonna have it ready for your buyer. If they receive the loan docs on the afternoon, they're gonna have it ready for the next day. It is not a rush. But everything depends on you, and sometimes everybody's rushing because they want to close on Friday. They don't want to wait till Monday. So, and if it's the end of the month, the hurry is large because everybody wants to close before the end of the month. So it's a lot of facts that can affect. But as I mentioned, we're a team. Sometimes I had to go take the documents to my clients and meet a notary because we didn't find a mobile notary to sign with my buyers over there, the one that worked with escrow. So sometimes I had to find a notary on the area, make the appointment, take the loan docs from escrow, take it to my client's home, and take it back. So remember, we're a team, and our goal is to fit our buyers' needs, our clients' needs, the seller's needs. Even if you are representing the buyer, you are working for the seller as well. Your fiduciary duty is with the buyer, but remember, the seller is who's paying us for that transaction. So we should consider the needs of the seller as well. We need to work, as I mentioned, to make a win-win. That's what I like win-win, where everybody wins. Nobody's taking advantage of nobody.
Yeah, 'cause you want to get to the same place anyways.
Yes, and sooner or later.
So the buyer can sign the document either in escrow or in front of notary. Either way will be fine.
Yes. Yes. There are some lenders that have restrictions that they only allow the buyer to sign with a certified escrow notary. So that's what I say. Every transaction is unique. We learn a lot through the years. So it's never one way to go. It's always multiple ways. And we always ask. Sometimes the escrow officer waits for your buyers to sign over hours. Sometimes the escrow officer doesn't want to. They say, no, we close at 5:30. We can set up for next day. Some escrow officer say, we're going to wait for your buyers. I have one that I just closed on February. The escrow officer wait for my buyer till 7:30. And they close at 5:30. Yeah. And they provide an extraordinary service to them. But these are the types of relationships that we want to build, that we want to have, right? So don't reveal too much. Listen more than talk. Keep your client's motivation close to your chest. Why did I say that? When it says don't reveal too much, there's some information that the other agent can use.
Sure, if you don't want to tell them that they're willing to pay more, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe the motivation from the seller, when your seller is in a hurry,
Mm-hmm.
they're going through divorce,
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So the buyer agent says, okay, we have a chance here to get it for less,
Mm-hmm.
because they're in a hurry,
Yes.
and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
If my buyer is him willing to pay whatever because he wants that.
And it's something that we all when we sign the let me go back here. When we sign the contract, do you notice what it says on the agency relationship?
Oh, yeah. You're working for the buyer or the seller, whichever agent you are. You're the fiduciary. You're going to be looking after the fiduciary. You're going to make sure that you comply with your fiduciary duties to your client.
If you know that your seller, you're representing the seller, and
Mhm.
you know that the seller is willing to negotiate the transaction because the home inspection already came and the buyer require repairs, do you wait for the appraisal to come to start negotiations, or you go ahead and negotiate only with the home inspection?
Okay, as a listing agent or as a like a season agent, most likely when I take a listing, going to know that if my client is willing to market the property for FHA, conventional, USDA, PA, I kind of know what most likely the appraisal is going to require. Let's say that they have a door that going to the garage that has a doggy door. So that door has to be fire proof, and because so the doggy door is not anymore. So I know that there is good chances that the appraisal call it off. So I mentioned that to the seller, and I check that the property has the GFI, the smoke detectors, the basic things. And when it comes to termite, I check the condition of the property, so we know that if the property the most likely that the termite guy gonna call it off on some of the dry good. I cannot say that for termites because I'm not a termite person, but I can see when the good is damaged and needs to be replaced. When I see in a covered patio that is water stains and the good is really rot. So I know that the termite inspection doesn't gonna pass. So we can let the sellers know that the termite is not required on the FHA loan anymore. So if we market it for a FHA, we have a good chances that to make a counter offer and says that the seller is not providing any termite report to avoid all that information, or say that the seller will provide the report but not do repairs. So the buyer has the information, but they don't expect any repairs from the termite. So
Same thing with the VA or just the FHA?
with the VA, I don't work too much. Honestly, the past VA that I represent was like 7 years ago. So I'm not so familiar with the requirements, but it's just a call to make to the lender and say, hey, and the VA, can we waive the termite? And they're gonna say yes or they're gonna say
Now,
no.
if the FHA does not require the termite inspection, I would think even if there is anything, the appraiser comes in and says, there's termite in such and such place, it needs to be repaired,
Mm-hmm.
will the lender then be requiring it instead of the seller? I mean, instead of the FHA.
Yeah, it is on the contract. It says that we want to provide a report. However, even if the contract says that we request for the termite report, that transaction that I just sharing with you that we have on business group for 4 months, they put that they want a termite report, but they didn't ask for any repairs. Just seller to provide termite report. Yes.
They were just wanting to see if there was any damage.
Mm-hmm.
Probably then the offer was based on the fact that, okay, even if there is a termite, we're not gonna ask for anything, so just in case there is, we'll pay for it, but this is my offer.
Okay. This is what I want to share with you. The agent is not obligated to reveal to either party any confidential information obtained from the other party that does not involve the affirmative duties to set from above. So sometimes we know information that the listing agent shared with us about the seller. We don't have to share that information with the buyer. So there is information that the other party is trusting us. So we need to make sure that we just use what we need to use to bring benefit to our clients and keep what we know that maybe affect our clients, and maybe the other party may use that to take advantage on their own benefit. Okay, let's go next page. Come on. Oh, you don't want to work with me anymore? Okay. So page 16. Let's go and read the scenario below. Maria, can you read for us?
Sure. You're representing a single buyer. Your client is renting her present property. Like any first-time buyer, she's looking to you to guide her through the process. The asking price for the home she really loves is $175,000. The house appears to have evidence of a roof leak. It's listed as is, and it's correctly priced. Your client would like to keep her payment as low as possible since she still has a number of student loans to pay off. She wants to write an offer for $155,000. There has been quite a bit of activity on the listing.
So what it's asking us, identify the key areas in which you need more information or certainty before you confidently negotiate on your client's behalf. Write 3 specific questions that you will ask your client in the space provided below. So the property is 175 because it's already correctly priced because of the roof leak. So the property, other words, is the property is already under market value. However, now your client wants to grant an offer lower than that. So the property has activity going on, and you can see, normally when you go and show a property, you see all the business cards for the agents that show the property before you. So it's something that I use to explain to my clients that it's a lot of people that show interest on that property. So what are the 3 questions that you should ask or you will ask your client?
How about you want this property?
How about you want this property? It's a good one. So she said that she liked it. As a matter of fact, that doesn't say that she liked it. She said that she really loves this, right? So make the question, what is what you love about this property? What is what you see different, that what makes you feel home on this property? And it says that because it's bigger or because of this, let's use that. So do you think that we can, one of the things is that, so if you really love this property and you notice the activity that is on this property that is not you're the only one, are you willing to take the risk to offer less and see the property go? Because in reality, run the comparables, show the value of the property. Once this property is being fixed or the roof is being fixed, this property value is go up. So have the numbers, have contacts. If it is a first-time home buyer and they are not related with a general contractor, or when family does construction, they don't want to know what are the prices up there. So we are not a general contractor. We don't provide estimates. However, it's good to know the prices on the market. Create your network. That's why we call businesses, to see what are the type of service that we provide, and we have it on a directory. So in case that one of our clients is asking for a plumber, we can handle the information. A lot of buyers came down from San Fernando, from Los Angeles, and they don't know nobody. I like to feel like they know, and they feel that I am the main point of contact with this valley, that they can call me, and I'm gonna be for them to help you. And I always tell them when I give them the keys, doesn't mean I'm done with my job. I believe that my job just started, because you're gonna go new things, new information, the property taxes, letters that you're gonna receive, and you're gonna receive tons of tax or promotions. If you have any questions regarding that mail, feel free to call me. And don't send money. I always tell them, don't send money. You're gonna receive an envelope asking you for $75, $95 for a certified title or grant deed. You don't need to pay the money. You're gonna get your grant deed from title. So making sure that your clients know that you are the point of information for them in this community. That you just not selling their home and say, bye-bye. See what you can do. You are on your own now. Our relationship continues and our service continues. I always tell them, my job doesn't end here. I'm still your agent, and you can call me for everything that you think that I can help you with. Sometimes they call me for a reference to a doctor, or where they can find.
Yeah, I will get it to next door also, in the community. When somebody, does anybody know, we are new in the community, you know, the pediatrician, you know.
Okay, sometimes they sell the, I have a client, they say, okay, let's say an offer. And if the seller doesn't like our offer, maybe they can send us a counter. So if you send a low price offer, make sure that the agent knows that if the seller, that your client is open to a counter. Sometimes they say, no, it's too low. Rejection. Make sure that you communicate with the other agent and say, you know, this is my client's offer. However, if doesn't fit your client's needs, send us a counter. I don't tell them how much my buyer is willing to pay, but I say send us a counter. However, I have the conversation with the buyer and say it's not all the time, because you are sending 20,000 less that they're asking for. How about if somebody send them a full price offer? They don't have a reason to send us a counter, because they already have a good offer. The only way or the only reason when they send a counter offer is because all the offers are similar. But I really think that your offer gonna be too low. So tell them how it is. It's too low. And right now I told them most of the properties, the only properties that sell for less are the ones that are overpriced. The only properties that are selling for less right now in our market are the ones that are overpriced. The properties that are in a market value, that are in a good price, they sell for higher price. So if this property is in a good price, it doesn't go enough, and it's in a good condition, and it's a lot of movement on the property, most likely that they're gonna sell for higher price than lower. So you imagine yourself living in this home and you don't wanna lose the opportunity to make it happen. My recommendation is at least offer what they're asking for. Sometimes they say, if we offer more, it's up to you. You're paying for it. I check the comparables and I can see the potential that the property can appraise more. Okay, we can do that. But I check the comparables and I see that it's not something, I tell them that maybe at the appraisal, if they don't counter back, asking them to pay the difference out of their own bucket, we are fine. The price is going to be adjusted to the appraised value. But if they cannot offer back, that the buyer to pay the difference, and then if they don't have the money.
So that means that the sellers already know that
The property that,
it's not going to appraise.
yeah.
Why is it that when the appraiser is scheduled to go to the property, they call the listing agent, not the buyer agent, even though the buyer client is the one that is paying the appraiser to come?
Because the listing agent is who really has the access to the property and grant the access to the,
Okay, so it's okay if the buyer agent wants to come when the appraiser comes?
yeah, it's okay. Yeah, you can talk to the listing agent and say, you know, when you have the appraisal appointment, can you let me know? I want to be there too. You can talk to. And I remember that before.
Does the listing agent have to be present when the appraiser comes? Or
No.
if the owner is there, he can open the door that way?
The owner of, if the property is vacant, they can give the access. It's recommended, especially when you are when you have your doubts, or you are right there, barely there on the value. You want to meet the appraisal and show you comparables. Some appraisals are out of the area, and they don't know our market, and they don't have full access to our systems. So you want to make sure that you provide the comparables that you use to support the value. And establish the relationship with the appraisal is good too. It's good too. And note it. I have an appraisal that every time she called me to set up an appointment because she was assigned to my listings, I called the lender and say cancel that and reorder it. Because she is so conservative that she always give me low value. So I always, every time that she called me, because I had that experience 3 times. So I say, okay, it's not me, it's the appraisal, because every time that she comes to my listings, she gives me low value on my listings. And
Even though you give them the comparables?
yes. Here's the thing. At the end, it's under the appraisal criteria how they make the adjustments. Because one appraisal can say the difference between this property and this one is only 5,000, and the other one can say 7,000. So I remember one of them say that most appraisal has to do how they describe the property and how they put it to work to justify the value on the property.
The appraiser's purpose of doing the appraisal is to find out how much the house is worth based on the comparables of the area. It's not his job to actually find the things that are wrong with the house, right? Unless it's of course not equal.
Okay,
So the home inspection is the one that is gonna go more deep
more deep.
to see what is wrong.
There's certain things that the property has to qualify to be transferred, and is required by the programs or by the state. So it depends on what type of loan it is. Okay, most likely, yeah. But if it's owner occupied, it has to be a hot water. So the water heater has to be working. And yeah, it depends on the program and the requirements for the program. And it's an investment. If the water heater is not working, it's not working. So, yeah, but yes, the appraiser has to check certain systems to make sure that the property comply with the program that they are applying for. And the reason that he's go up there is to ensure the bank that the property has the value of what the buyer is asking to be financed.
No, I understand also that the if it is an SHA, now the appraiser is required to include inspection in his appraisal.
Okay?
I mean, it's not, it doesn't take the place of the inspection by the buyer. What it means is that they just don't do the appraiser, the appraisal of the property. They have to consider if there's anything that needs, I would imagine it would be anything that is safety or health, health required, that to make sure that they include that in the appraisal.
Yeah.
So that it needs to be taken care of, otherwise the FHA don't even.
Yeah, yeah. See, the appraisal has more requirements, especially in safety and hazard issue. Before the appraisal, long time ago, before every property that went to FHA has to be every structure has to be permitted. So any now non-permitted areas, they tore it down if they want to sell it through FHA. Right now, if the structure even is unpermitted, it doesn't represent a safety or hazard issue for the people who are going to live there. They are okay with it. Doesn't give value, but they don't ask them to remove the structure anymore. So let's go back.
When appraisal, an FHA appraisal appraised the house at certain price, and how long is that good? For example, if that transaction gets canceled?
90 days.
90 days.
Mhm.
So any new buyer will have to have that price.
Yeah,
If it was
stick with the property. FHA or NBA.
FHA or VA.
The appraisal stick with the property for 90 days.
Conventional.
No. So let's see, make sure that when we are negotiating and we are on the phone or we are face to face, that how our behavior or how our non-verbal, verbal body language, tone of voice that we use. Normally when a client calls me, that I have these particular clients that he always call me 3 or 4 times a day.
3 or 4 times a day?
Yeah. I remember that one blank comment say, that's harassment. For me, it's not harassment. It's when you don't know something, you are afraid, more likely, that what's going to happen. What if this goes wrong? In the buyer's mind, especially those that are like used to be preoccupied for everything, you're going to have those clients that everything worries them. So we need to understand their behavioral style and when they are acting like that. And yes, trying to provide the service, trying to give the answers, the information that they need to know that everything's in control. And there are the ones that love you the most because they see so much value, because you provide so much value, because they are like asking and asking and asking. But I remember that every time that he called me, it was like Gloria, I was thinking, what if this? What if that? and I listen to him. And then I say, okay, now breathe.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
Those questions are normal. So most of the buyer has those questions. They express the question different way. So I say, take a deep breath. Okay. We are working on this, we are doing this, and you don't have nothing to worry about. Because you will have an issue with his boss, the Human Resources Department sending back the BOE. And he said, what if they don't send it? And then we have the issue with the IRS law. It's always a way. So don't worry. Let me worry, because that's why you hired me. And I'm going to call you when I know what we're going to do next. Right now, just step out the break. You're going to have your home. So this is not, we are not there yet. Maybe we never be there, because he was thinking ahead. If this doesn't happen, this is going to happen. No, no, no. Let's go step by step. Don't hurry. And we ended up closing, and he's so happy. He already sent me 3 referrals. I am working with one of them. We're working on fixing the credit on the other one. And my lender is pre-qualifying the tier 1. So those type of clients, if you answer and you provide the information and you use the tone of voice, there is time. Normally, we've been teach the mirror and match, right? But what if somebody comes to you screaming at you? You're not going to scream back, right? You're going to mirror and match that. So you have to say, okay, listen, and make them feel that what they're feeling is important to you. And you can completely understand what they're going through, because they don't know nothing. And this is something that I use as a script during my transactions. Okay, remember, you are pre-qualified. We submit most likely all the documentation that the lender is going to need. However, you are not buying a pair of shoes or a dress or a pants. You are buying a home. So the underwriter job is to make sure that you qualify for that home. And when she reviews the file, she's going to come back for conditions. Don't ask me what, because every time is different. But you're going to have conditions, and it's normal. It's not because they see something wrong in your file. It's just part of the transaction. So prepare them. Have them ready. Have them to understand that this is the biggest investment that most of the people does in their lives. So with that, when the underwriter asks for something, or the processor asks for something, and tell them, you're probably going to go through different stages. First, the lender asking for the basic stuff. And then come to the processor. The processor reviews the documentation, and she's going to ask questions, and she's going to ask for more items to complete the file. And then you're going to go through the underwriter. And the underwriter going to see it with a different eyes and going to ask for another questions. And then you're going to go to the funder. Last minute, the funder going to ask for something, for an explanation, for you name it. So, and it's normal. And it's not because something wrong with your file. It's because it's part of the transaction. They are liable to the bank to make sure that they verify all the information. So they're going to ask for additional documentation, for additional information. Most likely, letters of explanations, things like that. But we're going to go through that with you. You are not alone. I am here for you, and we're going to go through it together.
You know, when I'm reading a small book right now of how to do things within 90 seconds, one of the things that it explains that when you talk to someone, it doesn't matter whether it's real estate or whatever, when someone and you want to convince them or treat them realize something, omit any words that says don't or no,
Mhm.
because the brain cannot process no.
Mhm.
What happens is that, for example, if you say don't worry about it,
Mhm.
the first thing he's going to think,
Worry.
maybe something I need to worry.
Mhm.
Oh no, she said no, but you already put the worry in
Mhm.
their mind.
Mhm.
And, so they're just to avoid hesitation or
Mhm.
something, when you're going to take a listing, for
Mhm.
example, and you say, don't do this or don't do that, and just wait a minute, what's going to happen if you
Mhm.
do? So always try to use words that are positive.
Yes, positive words. Mhm.
Eliminate our negative words, just do positive.
Yes, that's true.
Okay,
Mhm.
and like you said, everything is going to go smoothly.
Mhm.
If there's anything that I need to do or you need to do, I will let you know,
Mhm.
and everything's going to be fine.
Mhm.
So you'll meet all the words of don't worry about it.
Mhm.
And it's like when
Mhm.
you say something, you're talking to someone, and then they'll say, no problem. What do you mean, no problem?
Mhm.
I am supposed to be a problem?
Mhm. Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
That's true, and that's what I read on a book for children. That if you say no cookies, the only thing that they are going to remember is cookies. They forget about the no.
Yeah, and then they say why?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because why?
Mhm. Yep.
They're the big white kids, people. Neatly, hug the pillow, goodbye, bye-bye.
So let's go identify and use counter tactics. And page number 19.
Mm-hmm.
19. Nibbling, right? So once your client has agreed upon one major concessions, the other party will start nibbling for additional smaller concessions.
Well, what about this? Would you do this too?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think once you have a major thing
Mm-hmm.
agreed upon,
Mm-hmm.
don't reach.
Mm-hmm. And it's something that conversation, communication, that's what we said with our clients, our buyers signing the contract and explain that we highly recommend to get the home inspection. I cannot, it sounds more with them and making them understand that the inspection is just for them. It's not for the seller, it's not for the bank, it's just for them.
So they can make
Yeah, informational decision. Yes, they know the conditions, so they don't have surprise at the time that they move in. So they know and they make a budget of the items that they have to fix and balance it out. Because honestly, if your client is moving into a property with zero money and they don't have reserves on the bank, you don't want them to move to a property that it has water leaks, that the toilet is not working. How are they going to handle that unless that you handle that for them? Because yes, sometimes I do that. Sometimes I tell my buyers, don't worry for the leak, we fix it. My husband is a general contractor, so he always helped me with that. The client I mentioned to you guys that he was calling me 3 or 4 times per day, called me, today is Monday, right? Wednesday. He called me on Wednesday that, yeah, I can ask my husband because her wife was, called him that she got a water leak under the sink. It wasn't there before. He just moved on February 14th. Maybe they pushed something. Yeah, we used to store things under the sink, sometimes you push something and create a leak. So I said, okay, he cannot go today because he's working on California City. However, I can tell him so he can go tomorrow morning. And he did. Later on, he called me and said, tell your husband, thank you, thank you. We don't charge for those small things. Am I able to do so? We do it. It's part of the service. Of course, my client doesn't expect us to fix everything, right. But things like that, especially because we live 2 blocks away. There is things, and as I mentioned before, when you have your core members or your core, not core members, your core group, your C group, you want to go the extra mile with them. Okay, so you're gonna like avoid nibbling if you have the conversation with them. Make sure that when you focus on repairs, just focus on the real items that are gonna cost you much. Forget about the scratch on the wall, right? Yes, it needs paint, but you're gonna see that in every home, most likely, unless it's like ready to move in. But if you are not paying the full price, most likely that the type of properties that we're gonna find is gonna need maintenance. So the hot potato, the other party tries to pass the problem onto you. For example, the co-agent tries to pass out closing costs to your client because their client cannot afford them. Throw it back. Test the validity. Find out the problem is real. Has the party with the problem exhausted every possible solution? Sometimes, and it happens to me. I have buyer who has money in the bank, and they want closing costs. Hey, I hear that some sellers pay for closing costs. Okay, you're gonna lower the opportunity that you're gonna have to have the property that you like, but I can ask for the closing costs. And exactly with this client, the same client, I live with him, I think every experience. He had money in the bank, but he wants closing costs. So when I write the offer, I put the closing costs there. So we got a counter offer back, saying no closing costs.
And you were lucky that you got the counter. Because they would have said no.
And this is the thing. We got the counter back because they didn't have any offers before.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then I got a text from and he was like, can we do this, trying to like renegotiate, but asking back for closing costs. The seller agreed to go down 5,000, but no closing costs because he sent a lower offer and asked for closing costs. And that property didn't have any offers, and it was on the market for a long time. So when we got the counter offer, the next day, she texts me and say, Gloria, I got another offer. Are your buyer is moving with the counter offer? So I forwarded the text message to him and said, you know, right now they have another offer. Or you accept this, or the possibility that you lose this property are good chances. So he said, send me the counter offer. I send it right away. So she texts me again and say that she's gonna send me an email saying that the seller, she sent me a text saying that the seller gonna send a multiple counter offers like with an update. So before she sent me the email, I sent her the counter offer, and because she never sent me the email, our counter offer it was good, and we moved into escrow.
But those are the risks that the buyers need to be aware of.
Yeah.
They can go through and then lose the property if they really want it.
Yeah, and he really wants this property.
And then it's like, I told you so.
So let's work with our clients. Let's make them see that. And I have to have that conversation with him many times. Juvenal, you buying a house. You have to use money to buy a house. Nothing is for free. I can help you to negotiate and lower the cost. Look for a program that doesn't require too much down payment. The program that we used with him was 100% financing, so he didn't have to put down payment, so he just paid his closing costs. But every step of the way, every expense that he has to do, the appraisal, the inspection, he was saying, more money? And they had to go back. Who's gonna give you a house for free?
Well, you gave him an end sheet, and it included that.
Yeah.
This is what you're gonna pay, this is how much your
This
lender is
is,
gonna
there is
charge you.
there is clients that you can tell them over and over and over, and he always gonna say, oh, more money. I already told you that you had to pay that on the numbers that we included that you're gonna spend. So we went out already on that. Okay, we're gonna go to negotiating counter offers. They say, choose a different partner from the previous activity. One person will play, oh, I remember that we played that with
Oh,
yeah,
you did that.
yes, on the class. So let's move to the next one. On the, I remember, do you remember the practice that we did with Antoinette? Yeah, when Antonio Aguilar give this class, we practice with Aaron and I
I don't think.
negotiating our repairs.
I don't think I went to that class with her.
Okay, she was it was a nice practice, and Aaron and did a great job negotiating on behalf of his seller. However, many of the decisions that sometimes we made it ourselves. And something that we never have to forget, this is not between us, it's between seller and buyer. We are just in middle to advise them and negotiate for them, but following always their instructions.
What,
Following always their instructions.
Oh, their church.
So yeah, sometimes, let's say I send a counter offer, buyer counter offer to the seller. And the listener says, Gloria, I don't think my sellers will work with this. He already told me on his counter what he's looking for. Okay, I explained that to the buyer, but can you try and present that to the seller and see what he says? Because what she said to me is, I don't think. It's based on her mindset. She don't really know what the seller is going to say. He thinks, and 90% of the times, they come back with a